What up, what up, what up? Anime heads. The crew is back. The crew is back. Indeed. And this episode, we're doing something different. Shout out to Jackie for coming up with some awesome ideas for this one.
I try my best.
Your best is amazing over here.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is pretty much April just wrapped up, and a lot of the things that dropped in April were a lot of the things we were talking about during our past few Put This on Your Radar episodes. So now we kind of have a sample size of these animes we were telling you to take a look at. We have some ratings from some critics on these animes that we told you to look at. We'll look into those and then kind of dabble into what we've been watching. If any of the new ones kind of, grabbed our attention and now we're fully invested in. And to wrap it up, you see Jackie's background there, the To Be Hero X. We'll delve. We'll delve into that and talk about that and the blend of different styles of animation that one's using. And I'll say this right now, it's one of the anime that I'm tuning into every week, based on the story and the animation. But without further ado, let's take the shot now, because we have a habit of starting the show after the intro
and never taking it.
Taking the shot.
Yeah.
So,
or we take it, we just don't announce it. So we're just being
just random
alcoholics.
We should always take it, and then we should start. I think that's what we should start doing.
Absolutely.
It is long.
This Dr. Pepper Zero, this is gas.
Yeah, you put it in your car because you don't drink it. It's trash.
Oh.
Dr. Pepper is like, why is this soda so spicy? Get this out of here.
I got into an argument with someone one time about how the number of flavors that were in Dr. Pepper, and I told them that Dr. Pepper Zero is different.
70.
And it doesn't have those flavors. And this dude was like, I went to a Dr. Pepper factory in Kansas. And I was like, first of all, why is there that makes sense actually. And he's like, and I tried everything. And I was like, I still don't believe you. So I bet you whatever. Well, I lost that bet because I soon found out that it doesn't matter that it's Dr. Pepper Zero, because it's still Dr. Pepper and it still has 27 flavors or whatever it freaking says. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Rusty Fender, A1 steak sauce, all those flavors are in there.
Yeah.
How dare StreamYard sneak this promo into our description? Anyway, I'll fix that in post editing. I'm looking at it on Facebook, and it's just like, now streaming or looking to level up. Check out StreamYard to get 10%. Oh my God!
How dare you, StreamYard? You did not get permission to do that. That's rude and hella churlish.
Our will.
That's churlish. It's subordinate. It's churlish.
Hey, if they wanna like toss some
coin,
some cheddar our way,
yeah,
straight.
Hand your witcher some coin.
Yeah, toss you witcher coin.
Toss your witcher some coin.
Oh,
hey,
all right,
it's shot out.
Cheers, you nerds.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here.
Oh, that's the Dr. Pepper.
The Dr. Pepper hit.
Anyways, let us roll the intro and we'll get right into it.
The following is a presentation of the That Feeling Podcast Network, reminding you to always question the answers.
Eat the cake. Eat it. Yeah. Eat the cake. Eat the cake. Well, all right. I bet you thought you stumbled on another podcast. Of course you're right, but let me tell you about the contrast. It's really different, not an X in front of Comcast. We cover anime today and other times past. Listen and learn in that order, then replay. Be entertained by Mac, Jackie, and EJ. 3 hosts doing way more than the most, proving you can pay the lion, but it's all in the approach. Originals and sequels, the newbies and the Ichigos. The world's up in flames to the ones more peaceful. The weapons of the Shuto, manga Naruto, Monkey D. fluffy and a lot more that you know. Subscribe, hit the like, give the algorithm life once. We trying to get the same pie that Apple took a bite from. Join the conversation, let us know if you can relate. If not, you still might be forced to eat the cake. Anime, hey, eat the cake. Hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime, hey, eat the cake. Hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime.
Noise.
Oh, it's such a great
I love
opening.
that intro.
Always a good time. Always a good time. But like we talked about the cold opening, April, full of releases. Just to name a few, there was one that was getting a lot of hype. The beginning after the end. That was one that dropped. Windbreaker season 2 for those that tapped into the first season, that dropped as well. Fire Force season 3 dropped as well. What else we got? Lazarus, that was the put this on your radar. I think you talked about that one, right, EJ?
Yeah, I put out Lazarus, and we also had I don't know if we're still counting that, but Devil May Cry dropped on Netflix.
Yep.
So
Also My Hero Academia, Vigilantes.
Vigilantes.
Yep. So Devil May Cry was on there. There's another one that I remember us talking
I
about.
have the picture of it, of everything. Oh, here we go.
There's one that I've been seeing that I've been meaning to get around to. Is the From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordman. I've seen clips of that. People were talking about
that yet.
But of course, Lazarus, To Be Hero X, and then My Hero Academia Vigilantes, and then the last one I know that we talked about, Apocalypse Hotel. That was another one that was on our preview. What's to look for? Go Loser Ranger season 2, and then Teogonia, I believe, were some of the ones that we've also talked about. So a lot of stuff dropping in April, and we're here to just see what did we dabble in, anything new. So we'll start with Jackie. Obviously, we have the ongoing things that we've been watching or trying to catch up on older seasons or anime that we're trying to catch up on. But anything new that you tapped into this week or this past month of April?
Yeah, it was. I actually watched a lot of first episodes and I didn't continue, just based off of the month with work and time. So one of the ones that I did watch a first episode of, and I did not mention this in the podcast of things to look forward to. So I did try to think of things that we didn't talk about as well and just make a review on it because there were other things I thought were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Moonrise, the one that didn't get enough publicity from Netflix that a lot of people are pissed off about. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I watched the first episode of Once Upon a Witch's Death. So that one I thought it was going to be super interesting, and also there's not a lot of anime out there that deals with just witches. And for some reason this season, they dropped a lot of anime that has to do with witches specifically. And two big ones was Witch Watch and Once Upon a Witch's Death.
Yep.
So Once Upon a Witch's Death, I watched the first episode. I thought it was going to be more serious. It's not. It's very lighthearted. It's about a young girl named Meg Raspberry who's an apprentice witch, and she basically finds out on her 17th birthday that she has a year left to live. And her reaction to her finding out that she's going to die is kind of obnoxious, and she's just very outgoing. Her personality is what? Oh my god, I'm going to die, typical anime facial expressions, and just kind of you laugh about it, but also okay. So it's way more lighthearted than I thought it was going to be. So now what she gets told is she has this curse on her though, so she's not actually going to die if she gathers 1,000 joyful tears from people. And she's like, that's impossible, I can't do this. And she gets dressed, and then she leaves and goes out into the city or whatever. And then of course, by the way, I watched this first episode while I was at the gym, and I was on the treadmill. This was a bad idea, because like her first interaction with this young girl whose mom passed away recently, and she's saying like, yeah, mommy is just sleeping right now, and I'm like, oh my god, why am I watching this?
Getting emotional in here.
Yeah, and then of course, like she does something really nice for the family, and she gets to collect her first tear, and she's like, oh, okay, I can do this kind of thing. So, it's a drama, supernatural, slice of life shonen, and the studio that did it was EMT Squared. I will say, like, the music for it was actually pretty good. The opening and the closing, I liked it a lot. The Maya Sakamoto, if anyone knows who she is, she's an actress. I've talked about her previously. She's the voice actress of Aerith on Final Fantasy and lots of other female characters since like back in the 90s. Escaflowne, and then some of Code Geass, Echidna, and ReZero, watch ReZero. But she also sings, which is crazy. I didn't know that she makes music too, and it was pretty good. And then the ending song was by an artist I wasn't familiar with, but has done a lot of like songs for Studio Ghibli. It's cute. I like it. The animation, like the Studio Saka, like all of the animes I wasn't really familiar with. There are a lot of animes that I think are like, this is way under your radar. Like you really have to make time to like look them up and watch them. And I think they're very much slice of life, like not as popular as serious tones, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's cute. I'm probably still gonna watch it because it's one of those lighthearted, like easy to watch kind of anime. See like how it goes. It's probably gonna be a 12 episoder, I'm assuming. I didn't really go into detail about like the manga. I didn't go any more depth than that, except like what I watched with that. But so far, it's just like a really cute one, and I like that her name is Meg Raspberry. I thought that was
when you said that, I was like, that can't be serious. Because you're like, it's not that serious. Girl's name's Meg Raspberry.
It isn't. I thought it was going to be a little bit more serious. It's not. It's very much like a slice of life. But I'm a huge. Sometimes I like have a huge crush on like slice of lives. They kind of I don't know, they're easy watches. So if you want to watch it, I think it's just a cute, easy watch. Nothing like as serious, and that's kind of also like you can't get teary eyed. So just be prepared for that. She has to get joyful tears. So if that tells you anything about some stories that she might have to like interact with or like do or be a part of, then it just depends also how emotional you get with some stuff. I actually thought it was really nice. And the actor's not super annoying. The main character is not as annoying as I thought she was going to be. She's just very like, yeah, I have powers, but I guess I got to go. I think the story's going to center more around her relationships and her journey with people and the stories that come out of that rather than like the curse is that's why I think it's like Frieren,
so
Frieren's way better, I think.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like the same feel. That's what I like about Frieren is the the delving into the relationships and how it's changing her and her growth. I mean, it's not action packed, but I could still sit there and watch it like nonstop. So,
yeah, it only got a 7. So I'm take this with a grain of salt because this is from IMDb. They gave it a 7.1 out of 10. Crunchyroll, I wrote this down. Hold on.
It's not too bad.
Crunchyroll gave it a. Why is it not showing the thing? I'm trying to look it up. Crunchyroll, it looks like so far it has a 4.4. So it doesn't suck, but it's not like super mind blowing either. So
is Crunchyroll using? I can't remember. Is it?
I go with Crunchyroll's reviews. That's usually what I go with. That's like the people who are actually watching the show, like commenting on it. I don't go with like.
I mean, are they on a 5 scale or a 10 scale?
Oh, it's on a 5 scale.
Okay, I was gonna say because 4 points. I was like.
But if you look at the other shows that we've ever recommended or talked about that were like, yeah, this is really good. A lot of those are like 4.6, 4.7
it doesn't take much when you look into it. A lot of the reviews, it doesn't take much. If you can have a few naysayers, they can knock it down a lot by just being too harsh or like 1 star. I'd give 0 if I could. Like, yo, dude, when you make your own anime and kick it out there, sure, make those improvements. But You don't need to slam someone.
Yeah, but I will say that like a lot of people, it's funny that you said Frieren though, because it did say like Frieren fans must watch this new fantasy anime, and they talk about this specifically. And I think it's because of this journey that she's going to go on, and it's very like it's going to be emotional. It's not so serious of like dark there's no dark themes about her death. It's just more lighthearted.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun watch. I liked the first episode. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Nice. What you been into, EJ?
I went with Lazarus. I was excited. I brought it to the table for the, on my radar. And I'm like Jackie. I just watched the first. I can't say just the first. I started the second too, but I watched the first episode as soon as I could because I didn't have access to it at first, so I had to wait a little bit. And it was killing me. But I watched the first episode. And the bad thing was I had the reviews first, all the people that could actually see it before me. So I'm like reading into it, doing the research for, when we'd have a show. And I was like, there was a lot of negativity thrown. So, but overall, I mean, my opinion, I'm going to preface that a lot of the negativity is because of some of the underlying current political tones that are kind of connected to this. You hear people complaining in their reviews about wokeism or, being too liberal or whatever. My opinion from watching it, if it just for those who aren't familiar, Lazarus has been it's Watanabe's newest deal. Watanabe's famous for back with Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo. He's been Harold is one of legendary anime creators, mainly not for the quantity but the quality. He has a great following because of that, and with his latest iteration, I feel like he didn't miss. He was spot on as he went. Lazarus is set in a dystopian future. Actually, as it opens, and from what you see in the very beginning, it's not very dystopian. I mean, it looks like the future's doing pretty well. Basically, the premise goes around that a medical breakthrough happened about 3 years ago, where a pain medication was created that basically alleviates all suffering. It was created by a Dr. Skinner. So the story starts off, this incredible doctor creates this drug that knocks out any kind of suffering. All right, but the problem is people started using it recreationally, not just for medicinal. So it gets that's where it touches on things that people were, like, hey, why are we talking about this is too familiar to the opioid epidemic and all that, where people were very touched, and I'm sure it's a touchy subject. If any of those situations touched your family, I'm sure that's an instant emotional red flag for you. But I don't feel that it was meant as in to condemn or whatever. It's just making a situation that we can all immediately relate to as far as current events. It's not saying that people deserve it or whatever. So when it kicks off and that this comes out, okay, a lot of people are using this wonder pain medicine. Okay, I think they called it Hapna, or it's written on the side of the medicine when you're watching the show, so you'll get it. But basically, the guy creates this. It goes crazy. People all over the world love it. And then it catches on like wildfire, like a party drug. People aren't living in reality anymore. They're living in this this new sense. Yeah, there it is. Kenpachi brought it, Hapna. They're living in this, different reality where they don't feel any pain. Things don't trigger them dramatically or whatever. Anyway, out of nowhere, as the first episode gets going and you're watching this beautiful art unfold, and I'll get to that in a second, but it's revealed that this doctor just disappeared like a year ago. Okay, just nobody could find Dr. Skinner. Okay, he seemed like he was a little distraught with the way that his creation was changing the world. Then as the story starts and you're watching the episode roll into action and stuff, it becomes to where you're watching news reports coming up, kind of like CNN or whatever doing their, and it's talking about how the Skinners come back and he sent a message across all platforms. And this Dr. Skinner and Professor Skinner, they go back and forth when they're referencing him. He basically lets everyone know that when he created Hopna, he incorporated a part of the drug that will kill anyone who's used it within 3.5 years or 3 years, which is about the time that he's calling now. So he's like, in about 30 days, the first users will start to die. All right. While this is all going on in the background and stuff, you're getting introduced to the main characters, but not in any kind of like strict format. It's kind of like you're watching things go on with the news being brought up. And that's one of the things I want to touch on is one, art doesn't let you down. I mean, of course, Watanabe's never been one to let his art get sloppy. I mean, it's beautiful from opening to, outro. Beautiful. And the reason I say that is because the melding of 2D and 3D in this is so seamless. It doesn't affect it. As you're watching it. And the one thing that I always bring up, and I took notes on it when I was doing research, is not only is it the movement of the characters and the motion, like for action, it's the eyes to me. Like their eye contact and conversation and stuff makes it feel more real. The facial expressions seem a little bit more real. Their faces are less blocky or edgy. So in a way, that allows, in my opinion, for them to share, smooth transitions, like Kenpachi said. It allows for you to actually kind of feel more drawn into a world, like it's a fully fleshed out world. The main character, Axel, you're introduced to him right away in the beginning because this Lazarus, which is the name of this like organization, the special organization, special investigators or agents, they want this guy Axel. You're in a prison in the first episode, seeing how Axel's in prison. They're coming to offer him hey, we'll get you out of this if you do this for us. Well, he was planning on getting out anyway. So you watch the whole thing in the first episode is giving you the overall plot, but it's also introducing you into the world, and you get to immediately know in the first 15 minutes why they're going after Axel. His escape from this maximum security prison after he's been interviewed for this pardon is beautifully done. I mean, like I said, it's not Cowboy Bebop, but it doesn't have to be.
But wasn't it confirmed by Watanabe that it was in the same universe as Cowboy Bebop?
Way different on the timeline, because this, I would say, is believably within a lifetime of our current technology. Therefore, it's not anything like extremely far out. So, and the fight scenes are beautiful. Like I said, the motion, it almost looks like motion capture that it's done so well. You know what I mean? Where I know they do use that sometimes as far as references for artists. And I know that I think I've actually seen jobs for it where they'll have a model that can the anime artists can look at and work with for the motion. So they can go through the entire motion. And instead of just the computer capturing it and going, it just gives them visual reference. And one note I do like about this is that he never stays static with his viewpoint. It's like a moving camera, like in a cinema. You're actually seeing, the camera transitions during the whole thing, be it conversations, be it action. So it brings that cinematography feel to an animated movie, or animated show that you're watching. So, like I said, I watched the first episode. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I felt like it was a great intro into it, gave you enough of the major plot and a little bit of the characters. Like I said, there's criticism. A lot of that has to do with people's, their own interpretations when they watch it. But the art is great. I mean, down to the minute details in the background. So to me, that shows a level of commitment and compassion or passion for the art, for the subject matter. I mean, you see the rust and stuff in the background on the wall. You see worn spots on metal surfaces where someone's touched it all the time. Those little things, I know it's not super important, but like I said, it makes you feel like you're actually walking into a really fleshed out world, a really fleshed out idea. You're not just getting thrown out, oh, there's trees in the background, there's buildings in the background, or the generic cityscape. This felt like a world that he'd been developing the whole way. And oh yeah, Kenpachi, good one, Kenpachi. Oh sorry. Yeah, the humor in it is well placed. Some people have said that the first 2 episodes, some of the voice acting, the lines are a little bit off, but I felt like
the dub or the sub.
It's dub. Yeah, the dub acting is off. I've never. It's not off, but they said it just the lines didn't match up perfect. It's like the actor was getting used to the character, and as it goes on, they said that you don't see it anymore. I didn't even notice it. So I mean, that's just what other people are saying in reviews, is that it could have used a little bit there, it could have used a little bit here, but
I haven't. Why are people analyzing this show so much?
It's like, wow, all of you guys are anime masters.
What is happening?
But
I like when you were talking about when people like, sorry, because I just want to talk about the reviews that you said where people are like, this is wokeism. I feel like when people feel like they were personally victimized by something that actually has like no personal relevance to them, or like they get personally offended, then their go-to is to say like, this is, whatever, they use wokeism as a thing. And I think it's so silly. I think anyone that has a review that says that whole review itself, you just take that and throw it in the trash, because it's based off of personal feelings. And at that point, just don't watch the show, dude. Just don't watch it.
You're twisting this. You're twisting it way too. There's way too much twisting going on here for you to connect these mental dots. Because I mean, one, if they even define woke, they're always off. They can never define it. And then 2, they use it for anything that they feel uncomfortable with.
Yeah, dude. That's why like anytime that I see a review like that, I never take it seriously. I'm like,
man, this wool underwear was a mistake. It's wool. Like, yeah, wool looking good on your junk. Man. It's just wool. But no, I mean, a lot of places, pretty much overall from the anime reviews, it stays in the 8 category. I mean, on a scale of 10.
Yeah, I saw that.
But like I said, when we were talking, Jackie, with your reviews, all it takes is a couple people. You had a couple people rate it like 0 or 1 star, so of course it's dropped it down. But I think a lot of people are being optimistic, and if they're a fan of the any of those prior projects from Once Now, they'll enjoy this. It's a really good kickoff so far. So I'm looking forward to more. What you got, Willie?
So I will say the one that I enjoy watching, we'll probably get to it later and talk more in depth to it, but it's To Be Hero X, right? Not to get, but also for me, if you can see the shirt, Fire Force season 3 part 1 is started up, and if you have not caught up with it, it's about to get real over in the capital with Station 8 and the evangelists and bro, it's, I don't want to stress, like, please go watch it. It's all I'm gonna say. But the 2 that I will ask you guys questions about, see if you guys dabbled into it or what you guys have heard. The beginning after the end. I was excited to watch this one because there are people at my job who have come to my office when we have our little weekly 15-minute anime discussions that run to about an hour. Like, my door is closed. Like, oh shit, there's serious conversations in the shirt's office.
We're
talking about anime and shit. it's a whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great shirt.
I know.
It works out crazy because I'm working in a cyber unit, and like the new guys come in and I'm asking them their hobbies. They're just like, I like gaming, anime, and I'm just like, bro, we're here, bro.
Yeah, you're in the right place.
they were everybody was talking to me about the beginning after the end, based on a web novel that caught me off guard. I'm thinking it's like a manhwa or like Japanese. Apparently it was an American web novel that was
started in Webtoons.
Yep, over to Webtoons in 2018, and then now it's a anime series produced by Studio ACAT, which doesn't have a strong track record when it comes to animation. So it was kind of a roll of a dice, giving them a chance to work with something that is very beloved and highly rated when it comes to the Webtoon. Watching the anime itself, I was very disappointed in it. to the point where I watched a couple episodes, came to work, and the people that were gassing this anime up came to my office, was like, yo, that wasn't, I don't know what that was, shirt. Like that. That wasn't.
I feel them because now I feel like everyone had a Uzumaki moment when this is giving me Uzumaki vibes right now, man. Because it's like, what happened? What were we expecting?
But I was ready to ask them, like, because I haven't read any of it. My plan is to look at this and then now I want to read it because the way everybody was passing it up, it sounds like the story is amazing.
Yeah.
But the visuals, the animation, the story's kind of like your basic isekai. You have a king who mysteriously died. He was like in his mid-30s, died and reincarnated as a kid, but he still has all the memories and knowledge and wisdom as a 30-year-old, goes out into the world, all, you know, like the whole basic isekai thing, right?
Yeah.
Looking at him like this prodigy savant, like, how are you so good at life already? You know, and because but the fights, I was like, Lord Jesus. Now, I talked about Blue Lock in one of our episodes regarding how it was the biggest sports anime, and the under 20 game versus the Blue Lock guys was like the biggest thing being talked about, and everybody was stoked about it. Then you watch the anime and it's just a glorified PowerPoint with like some Adobe After Effects, you know, like the ball is spinning, but it's just sitting there and there's like a motion blur thing going on and some flashing lights. And you're just like,
so it's lazy.
What is this? Right. And that's exactly what you get in these fight scenes. And what the cool kids call T-bait, because they don't like saying the beginning after the end. So very, very, and as Jackie was talking about, it's one of the most watched anime on Crunchyroll right now, but the rating is 3.8. Now, 3.8 out of 5, people are like, well, that doesn't sound bad. When you look at all the other most watched anime on here, like the lowest one is like 4.8, and that is like, I haven't even seen this one. It's called Even Given the Worthless Appraiser Class. I'm just like, goddamn, like that one's running around with 4.2. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. That's running with 4.3s, and then you have another one that's 4.1. So very rarely do things drop below a 4.
If it drops that low, then you know it's bad.
Yeah. So I mean, there are some people trying to keep it going. I guess they're just hoping that things pick up, or after the first season, another animation studio will pick it up and run with it. But from what I have seen, this is probably something I'd rather read than watch. Along the lines of like Black Clover for me, like the animation was hit or miss. Like the fight scenes were great, the slice of life, everything in between was not it for me, including the voice actor. So this may be just a read for me, but I don't know if any of you any of you two caught any of this anime and have any thoughts on it. Like, but the reviews I've been reading, I'm just like, yeah, it's pretty spot on. Like, people jumped into this thinking it was going to be great. I think giving it to a studio like ACAT instead of like one of the more established studios hurt it. But 6 episodes in, we'll see what happens. But like I said, I watched 1.5 episodes and I was like, back to some stuff that I like, you know?
Yeah. I just read stuff on it. I haven't actually watched it, but a lot of the points were the same as yours. They like lackluster battle or fight, and they just felt like it was just missing that oomph, like anything that really, because everyone was expecting it, like you said, people were gassing up, people were blowing up like, this is gonna be fire, and then it comes out and it's like nothing about the series was throwing anything at anyone that they felt like was pumped up or anything. It didn't have that feel, that action feel, like Solo Leveling. When Solo Leveling gets into it, I mean, those battles alone, you could just watch the battle and be happy. You know what I mean? So yeah, it fell short from everything I've seen. Hope, you never know. Maybe by the 6th, 5th and 6th episode, it'll pick up. Quality will get better, but I don't know.
I mean, it's just another show that's based off like a webtoon or something. Because Tower of God is another one. I watched all of season 1 of that one. I was not impressed, to the point where season 2 came out and I didn't even queue it up. I'm just like, one day when I'm bored or like deployed somewhere and I just have it's on a hard drive, I'm like, let me get a like COVID would have to come back again for me to sit down.
T-shift.
Be like T3.
Yeah.
T3 up there. Just I guess I'll watch this.
Oh God, T3.
But nothing else going on besides just one aircraft.
Another one that, for whatever reason, animation and is great. The credentials of the team working on it is great. I'm talking about Moonrise.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes, 50% audience score, only one review for like the actual critics. You know what I'm saying?
It's like they're not even paying attention.
And I'm just like the one legit critic or from Digital Mafia Talkies, visually everything in Moonrise is perfect. However, if your storytelling is not only keeping me from enjoying the animation but also tiring my mind, then that's a problem I just can't ignore. And they gave it 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, so what I read is that some people are on Reddit specifically, because that's where I'll kind of go look to see what people are saying. They're saying that it's pacing, disjointed editing, and lack of character development and plot coherence is what's causing them to like complain about it. They said that like the story's confusing. They said the story beats with a sense that the story beats and character dynamics are poorly handled, leading to a feeling of wasted potential, according to some of the discussions that just regular viewers apparently are having. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. It's on my like to watch, but a lot of people are just saying like the writing is really bad. A lot doesn't make sense. The pacing is strange, and the characters are dumb as rocks. That's literally what
I don't agree. From what I've watched, I don't see what they're talking about at all. I mean,
it's built like a slow burn anime. Like I think what is it, 20 some odd episodes, 22 episodes, like that. Yeah, so it's not like your standard 12 episode bing bang boom start to finish.
18.
It's so you got to watch it. Some people are like the time jumps from here to there, like
it does. Yeah.
Go ahead.
The thing is if you're watching, people who say that it's hard to follow the plot, it's not. Now, the character development, I do agree. That's one area where I feel like they totally missed the mark, because when you're watching the first and second episode, where you should be like identifying with the main character, it's too loose. You're kind of like, okay, I know he's the main character because of the focus, but I don't know anything that's interesting or anything about this dude. But the plot's not that difficult. Someone gets killed. He wants to know why. He's going to go find out. It's taking place on the moon. It's not like rocket science. I would say, if people are having a hard time following that, they're not paying attention to the basic details of dude's friends and important people got murked. He wants to go find out who's responsible. The powers that be say it's these rebels that want to, make the moon free or whatever the hell they want with the moon. Point is, it's nothing mind blowing as far as the plot. Yeah, some of the abilities and powers and stuff when they get into fighting isn't fully explained, but it's 18 episodes long, so they're trying to focus on, I think, more world building before they step into, okay, this is how the powers work. This is why there's a rebellion. You're going to get more depth after you see that the world, but they showed you in the very beginning that tech and everything in this series is out there. It's beyond anything we have, or even can, we don't have energy created weapons in our hands whenever we want them. That's the kind of shit they're pulling out there, and fighting with. The battle scenes are excellent, and they're showing you like, hey, this is some super high tech that enhances the whole person. Okay, we'll get to that. If you want it all in a, spoon fed to you in the first episode, like this is everything, just so you can watch some action unfold. There are shows for that. There are shows where you don't have to think. You can just sit down and watch them kick each other's ass. This isn't one of those things. If this is too complicated, then I don't know.
I wonder if some people are pissed because some people were saying that Netflix did Moonrise dirty because I think Moonrise had not a book, but like there was like something already written about it. So a lot of people were anticipating for this, and they were pissed that Netflix didn't give it the attention that it deserved, like the advertisement. And then finally, because so many people were sharing that, complaining about it, people watched it, and now everyone is like, okay, this is weird now. Like, no wonder why Netflix didn't give it the advertisement. So I wonder if Netflix low-key was like, hey, we'll put this on here, but we think it's okay.
They dropped the ball. And in my opinion, it's because it's a full Japanese studio. See, there are other stuff that they're putting out, like Devil May Cry and stuff. It's Japanese studios working with an American studio to produce an American streaming product. It's not Japanese studio created this and then we're going to put it up for them. So, I mean, they didn't advertise it worth anything. They already talked about canceled, but after they haven't even, it just came out. It's like,
Jesus.
So Netflix is, in my opinion, they're doing their classic, like, oh, people like this, but do we
didn't make us enough money?
Yeah, it didn't make us enough. And you're right, they didn't advertise it. They didn't get the word out. So you still have people that don't have any idea what this is. They're like, what are you talking about? Moonrise. I mean, look at it. You just type in a Google search. It's not like it blows up with the same stuff like if you typed in Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry right now, you get like, all these hits on your search engine, news, everything, because Netflix put them, I don't get shit. It's like you get a couple little clips, people say it's beautiful. That's about it. So,
you know what I will say though, and this is like not for the anime, but I created a whole segue in a segment to get into anime recap, and I didn't get to use it because we just got right into talking about this thing. But do you guys want to see it though?
I do.
Okay, we'll be right back with the anime recap.
Obviously. Hey guys, we're back again to talk about it. We're gonna start over.
All the time I'm talking, I'm looking at the background like, what the fuck? God damn it.
You're gonna throw people off with this plot here, Jackie.
I blame Moonrise.
Moonrise is a complicated plot.
It's making me think too hard.
I blame the shot.
It's not even. People are like, well, they keep introducing new antagonists and new this and new that. I'm like, well, there's a show, an anime that is highly regarded when it comes to twists and turns and new this and new that. I remember like watching the first watch through of Attack on Titan, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on out here, right? This dude is cool. Oh, this is a bad guy now? Who the fuck is this? Where'd he come from? What the fuck is it? But you just got to let stuff like that breathe through. Now, I don't know if Moonrise is season 1 is it says season 1 Moonrise, not just Moonrise, like it's a completed story. So I don't know if I haven't watched the end, like I'm only on like season 6 or episode 6. I don't know if at the end it's conclusion and you have closure, or if it leaves it open for more stuff down the line. I'm hoping that it's concluded because the vibes I'm getting and from what I'm reading, Netflix doesn't look like they want to continue pressing forward with the story.
That's crazy that you said Attack on Titan. Sorry, because it was literally directed by Masashi Koizuka, who's known for his work on Attack on Titan.
The animation studio, Attack on Titan, right?
Yeah, Wit Studio.
No, I think the first 3 seasons were Mappa.
And then Wit. Ended up,
So Mappa, you got the animation ties to it. Yep. You got the, like you said, the director ties to it. The writing probably not, but this is one of those things like you just got to let new IPs breathe. Like, maybe linking Mappa and the director and all that to Attack on Titan to this one. They were thinking Attack on Titan in space. I don't know if that were people's expectations walking into this, but
maybe.
Yeah, I think not anime related, but like when Andor came out, Star Wars, you know, kind of spy thriller drama, like people are like, this shit sucks. Where's the lightsabers? Where's this? And then by the time season 1 ended, people are like, you know what? That was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when it comes to anime, you have toxic fan bases, you know, they're just like, if it's not for them, they go find other like-minded people and then they just review bomb or go on Reddit and down talk shit to the point.
It's actually crazy how. Oof. Yeah. We can talk about that at a different time.
And I mean, it's fuel. It lets you know, like, I mean, the top ones that are out there that everybody.
Oh, thanks, Kenpachi. We had it backwards.
Yeah. Then okay.
Yep.
But you got all these people, you know, I mean, if you're looking at the most popular, especially shonen, they're not the, you know, wait 18 episodes for the solution. You know what I mean? They want to battle the outcome, the next one, the battle, the outcome, the next, you know, it's kind of the pattern. It's very, very straightforward. So if you're going to make it two, it's going to, if they can't be on their phone, you know, swiping left and, you know, eating a hot dog and watching the movie all at the same time, then, you know, if you got to pay too much attention.
Yeah. And also, I just want to correct myself. I've been mixing it up. So Wit is on Moonrise now.
Yeah.
Mappa is Lazarus. So that's why I'm
getting
Yeah. Okay. I got it too, because I was
like I said, it's you got these ties to Attack on Titan.
Well, Wit and Mappa is like two of the really big ones.
Yep. So a lot of hype, I guess, based on that. Netflix really did. I saw more advertising and stuff for Devil May Cry than I did Moonrise.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's maybe Netflix saw it and they were just like, let's not waste money marketing on this because we don't think it's going to be great, but we already paid one season, so let's just put it out and see what it does. But I feel like as consumers, if we just give it a chance and rate it on the platform, rate it high, give it some views, maybe they'll give it some legs and we can see this thing get expanded out, because the world building, like you said, Eric, this has the potential to be something very grand. I don't know, like Gundam type grand, where you could just span this thing out to multiple and stuff. But I mean, at least to let this thing breathe so we can see it from beginning to end, because I'm pretty sure it's based on a novel. I haven't read the novel. But all of this season
by Ubukata.
Yep. So I don't know if, like I said, everything in 18 episodes can be wrapped up into this novel, but I'm gonna finish it out. You know, like I said, 6 episodes in, I would like to see how it ends. I see some reviews saying that the ending is very good, the beginning is good. It's just the middle that turns people away from it, kind of. So. But I like to watch it all and come up with my own opinion on that. We got a question real quick. So Kenpachi asked me, what do I think about the added fan service in Fire Force this season? I'm not a fan of fan service myself. That was a nice time, like, because behind the scenes, Jackie did bring this up as far as a lot of anime going to fan service. And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Well, obviously for Kenpachi, he's just like, bro, stick with the story. I don't need, you know, the boobies and the panty shots and things like that. Like, to me, when it starts taking away from the overall seriousness of whatever situation the members are in, especially with Fire Force, because this arc right now is not meant to be too fan servicey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there is the one character that her thing is like this ability, I forget what they call it, lucky Lucci or whatever. Like, things keep happening to her that, like, her pants will fall or her coat will open up and it'll be her bra and panties, and then the bad guys are just like, oh no, and then that's her opportunity to like attack them or something like that. So that's
so stupid.
Yeah, so something like that. But from the 4 episodes that have been out, 4 or 5, like, it is very super heavy on the fan service. It wasn't so focused on that in the manga, so I don't see why
that's weird.
Have to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
why? Yeah, why are they doing that?
Why are they leaning more towards it? Yeah, Kenpachi says I would have liked it better in earlier seasons. It had a more serious tone for this season. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, because there are anime that are built for fan service. Your ecchi kind of like normally they're lining.
But that's fine if like the genre straight up says ecchi harem, like you know what you're getting yourself into. But like for Fire Force, like even when I first watched Fire Force, well, Elfen, like we can talk about Elfen lied on a different podcast.
Yeah, we're going to do an episode dedicated to breaking down the fan service.
Yeah, but like because that one's a little bit different. I think, in my personal opinion, but I just for something like Fire Force, and you know how deep the story can go.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, why are you doing this? Like now, you're gonna have to attach that almost onto your genre, because if they focus on that so much in one season,
they're gonna build
now what? Like, are you just still not gonna have that on there? Because that's not true. Because now, if you have a whole season with that shit in there, like you have now created a whole season with ecchi and harem in it.
What is their most? I mean, I haven't watched Fire Force except for what I've seen clips and stuff and what you've shared. But what's its right now? What's its big competitors? Is it like My Hero Academia? Is it And if those are their main competitors and they got more fan service, then maybe they're trying to.
You go, Willie.
It's. I don't say competitive. I guess when it first came out, season 1, that's when Demon Slayer was picking up, because this was back when I was at Arizona, so it was about 2019, 2020 maybe. What's up, Chris? When it came out, so standard competition. My Hero was out, Demon Slayer was out, JJK was starting to come out. So I mean, the big heavy shonen were out already, but Fire Force was still standing on its own feet with its story. The animation, the sound, the sound design, whoever does that, like the sound is just amazing for this thing. The different ways people can use their fire powers, like you have
from what you've shown, I thought it was
like it's dope. The story and the world building is amazing. And then you tune into this season, and like you said, if you have read the manga, you're just like, this season, what they're about to go through right now, this is make or break. That's why they're doing 2 parts of this final season. And then now all of a sudden, it's just, like I said, these first 4 episodes, maybe these are outliers. I don't know. We have to finish watching the season. But from what I'm seeing, I'm just like this one character is in the anime for the, the bra panty stuff. Like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, don't look at me. Oh, don't look. It's like but they're like overdoing it to the point where it's just like, fuck is going on? Like, we get it, she's the cute member of the team, but it's just supposed to be the focus of this arc here, so it's not as bothersome. Like I know it, like Kenpachi's saying it's not for him, and I get it. Like, I can tough it out. It's not too much where I'm just like, fuck is happening here. But Chris is like, I hear boobies. What shows this? It's Fire Force, but you gotta watch a lot to catch it, or you just jump into
the Fire Force. Had such an original approach. I mean, the whole setting and stuff is very different.
Yeah,
and I'd hate to see it go off course and lose out.
Like I said, it's just the first 4. I'm trying to think, is it 5? Because I'm caught up to it. I think it's 5 episodes out now. But yeah, it's just, we'll see where it goes. Like, I'm so invested into it. I'll watch it all the way through and then give it a final rating. But I don't think it's detracted too much, especially knowing what's coming down the line, where that character is probably not going to have such a prominent role. Now, if they start forcing her into certain situations, I'm going to be like, come on now. Like, there's no need to be here. Yeah. But I don't think they'll do that, because I think that will just detract too much from their original plot line that the manga has. So I heard Kenpachi says, I heard they were going to lean more heavily into the fan service this season, It obviously was not a lie. If it was something I knew about ahead of time, okay, but this is third season and they change it. Yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I will say there's a popular anime that people didn't think would last this long. Konosuba. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, Steven loves that anime. He tells me about it all the time. Yeah, he said it's because I watched the first episode and I was like, this is stupid. And he's like, that's the point. You have to watch it. It's actually like a really great anime. And I'm like, okay. So he got me finally watch ReZero. So Konosuba is my next one that I have to watch.
And it's meant to be like that. Like it's not something to take seriously. It's funny.
Yeah, it's supposed to be funny, stupid.
In a comedic way where it's not just over the top for whatever reason. So maybe they looked at that and just like, hey, look at the traction this one's getting. Maybe if we start incorporating some more fan service.
Maybe they're trying to follow suit and what's popular.
I mean, are they like losing money or fans? Because I don't think so. I mean, from what I've been talking with people, everyone's still talking about like in even Crunchyroll, it's like popular series. Like that is one of the ones as soon as it came back, it's right there. So I'm like, what are they? If you are not doing anything wrong, why are you why are you completely like, don't do what early 2000s and 90s animes did when people like to create animes that have nothing to do with the freaking manga story, and that's not what people are here for.
Yeah, Chris asked if they did that with Sword Art. Like Sword Art went way left with that. Wasn't fan service. That was like, am I about to watch
it's like they wanted to change the whole
am I about to watch a crime happen?
I thought that they did that with one season though, and then they went back, and that was Gun Gale.
Are you talking about like the one where what's her boy? Is it Kiriko?
Whatever the second season was. I thought it was the worst season.
The dude that had who was about to like take advantage of that shit where he was like his tongue was all about to start. He's like ripping her shirt off. I'm just like,
yes.
And like this is like me and my kids are watching it because we're watching the whole final.
Because Sword Art wasn't ever like at that level. It was supposed to be lighthearted.
It just went way left, and I'm sitting there like, y'all might have to get out this room and not see the ending of this season because I don't know how I feel about it. Like I'm a grown ass man feeling uncomfortable watching this. You know, the sun's up, birds are singing outside. I'm like, this isn't the right time of day to be watching. Like, there's never a right time of day to watch what's about to happen. But
but if I know I'm about to watch a seinen or a mature anime where I know that might be the case, but it's not like gonna go too far. It's just a part of like the mature audience aspect. That's different than if I'm watching Sword Art Online.
You're not expecting it at all.
14 plus. Yeah.
TV 14, and all of a sudden I'm like TVMA real quick. Like,
you went from Nickelodeon to like, Cinemax in like 2 minutes. What's going on? Like,
but I don't know why Fire Force kind of went the way it did, but Asuna is her name.
Yes.
Of Kirito. So
yeah, because she was in that cage
he had her like
whatever.
Had her like tied up with some vines and
Kirito,
like because he was the game master, he made the sword stab Kirito. And he was like stuck on the ground, and he's like, now you get to watch me do what I want with your girl, and I'm just like, oh my god,
dude! I remember I was like, oh, is this like is this becoming now like okay?
Yeah. So I mean, but not to get too much into that, we will have an episode based on fan service and talk about the impact, how it was just inserted into some anime that didn't have it, or the animes that were based around and knew that they were going to use it to a point, probably have better success than just random anime that are just like, and fan service out of nowhere. Because, your audience isn't here for that, but it is what it is. Now, are you guys ready to talk To Be Hero X?
Yes.
All right. I don't have a segment for that because we're always doing the recap. So,
cool.
Yep. Jackie, are you caught up? Is everybody caught up to where it's at?
I'm caught up.
I'm not, but I'm good. I'll get there. I'm following.
It's still relatively new anyway, so I won't.
I think they only have 7
episodes in. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything anyways for especially people that haven't watched it yet. I think the only time we don't give a shit is if something's been out for like 10 years. Like
Yeah, if we're talking Naruto and you're just like, no, guys, like, bro, chill.
Yeah, it's on the 5th.
Yeah. Skip this.
Skip the episode. But from what you've seen, EJ, I know it was one of the things you talked about in your forecasted anime that you wanted to watch. What are your thoughts about it so far? What you've been seeing as far as reviews and the reception of it?
Well, what I'm going to say, visually, I'm impressed, no doubt. I mean, from the get-go, and like I said, that's what caught my eye with the whole for that segment of On Radar. It caught my eye during the research. Then I went and delved into it a little bit, and I mean, anyone who's watched it can tell you the action sequences that they capture in there very fluid. It's outstanding to watch. So visually, I'm definitely kudos. They put in the time and effort with that. I love the color, and I this is another one where the 2D and 3D, they're getting good at blending it. They're blending it to where it feels less forced or just open like that. So, I feel like the action in that and the whole story premise behind how power works, it reflects in the action to me. Because I know we don't want to get into too much detail to spoil it for anyone, but in this, as far as it's got a lot of it's superheroes or characters, but the way in which their power works is a faith-based kind of system, or a trust-based and almost popularity-like system. So I feel like that's conveyed well here. Like, I don't know how to put it. Almost like when you're, not gladiatorial only, but like how you see when you're watching a sporting event, or you're watching your favorite, how the rise of the fans, or the, just, I don't know, empowers them. They convey that well. If I can't put it into words as well, but they convey that well of the standings. I have negatives, but I want to get everybody else's first take. So.
What do you think, Jackie?
So is this our also introduction into Chinese anime and then what we think about it as well? Or do we just want to focus on To Be Hero X and then go into here's some other Chinese animes and things that we're seeing and whatever?
Yeah, it could serve as a good segment.
And then we'll flow into the Chinese animations.
Yeah, so I did a lot of research on this one, only because I was quite shocked at how good it was. And I was telling Steven a long time ago, hey, there's this Chinese anime that I found that's pretty good. And he's like, yeah, I'm good with that. And then I would say again, I found another one. He's like, yeah, I'm good with that. And I'll talk later on, probably why some people are not as interested into, which by the way, it's not called Chinese anime. It's called donghua. I looked that up. In China, there's no word for anime. So it's just donghua is their way of saying anime, basically. Whereas Japan, it's anime, which we had that conversation before.
Dual though, isn't it? It's Chinese and Japanese working on this particular.
Yes, which I think helped it, which I like that they changed. So when I saw the animation, I was like, this kind of reminds me of, it's like Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. Then you got, oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now with Vi and crap, what's her face from the game League of Legends?
Oh, Arcane.
Yeah, Arcane. A little bit of Blue Samurai, all of that. It kind of looked like that, but then I could see a little bit of the computer based. So if you see some Chinese based CGI, if you will, compared to Japanese CGI is very different. They're very 3D and very kind of cartoony CGI looking. I can't explain it. So I didn't know how I would have liked it with that, but when we were watching it, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. This animation's not bad. I don't hate it like I thought I was going to. This is great. And then the idea of like you said, the faith, them needing faith in order to be stronger. I thought was really cool concept to have. Like, you need the people's like trust in you in order to have these powers. So you don't just get these powers and get to have this like power trip or whatever. I like the main character. I think that he's really likable. I do see how they do some of like the, it's not fan service, but it is like video, not video game. Yeah, kind of like video game where you get to choose your own story or path, where he's like, and it like zooms in on him and they make like this fun cartoony like expression kind of, but it's not on his face. It's just like the like sound that it does for it. So I didn't know how I was going to like that the more it happened, but actually I think it goes well with the story. Yeah, some of the characters that they're bringing into it and their story background, I was very surprised that they're going into like, I could see that's where the Japanese influence is coming in of like storytelling. Yeah. And I like that when they go into fights and stuff and how they do stuff, they change animation. And I think that's so cool. I've never seen that before. Like, I think that's such a cool concept. Like, I'm digging this. And Steven, like after the first episode, Steven was like, okay, let's watch the second one. I was like, okay. So, but we do watch it in dub. We do not watch it in Chinese sub. I will say, like other Chinese donghuas, like I do watch in Chinese sub. It took me a minute to get used to it, just because like the Chinese language is different than Japanese language, what I'm used to. But I don't think it's like that big of a deal. Like I think it sounds fine. But we listen to the dub, and the dub is great. Like, again, like you will hear me very few times ever, like at least nowadays, because I think some dubs nowadays it's like, oh, I'm gonna be there for my friends. It's like, oh my god,
it's way over the top. It's like you're almost doing it on purpose.
Like, it's just getting so secondhand embarrassment that I can't deal with it. But no, this is a really good dub. I really like it. The creator, Lee Howlin, is their name. I did not look up if that's a female or male, so I cannot tell you who that is. But it is a co-production between B Dream, which is a studio in China that came out, or that was created in 2018, and then it's on the Bilibili, which is Chinese network out there for like their donghua, and then Aniplex, which you name an anime, Aniplex probably had some part in it. There's so many. But if you don't know, like some of the ones is like Fate, Blood Plus, Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, Naruto, Boruto, like
you'll see the intro, the little Aniplex. You're just like,
yes.
Oh, this is about to be.
Dude, the freaking opening and the ending for this anime, I was like, yo, this is, and that's how I also knew that like Solo Leveling creators were a part of this, because the person that made the opening is Sawano Hiroyuki, who literally did not only music for Attack on Titan, but also the music for Solo Leveling, because it was very much similar to that. I was like, I freaking called it. And then the people who did the end, which I was not familiar with this band, but they did the ending for Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yep.
And the ending's really great too. So you have great music, you have great anime, you have two different countries working on this, that Japan's giving like, hey, this is good. It sounds like, hey, you should add this on here. China's putting like their take on it, especially this animation style. It's super fun. We talk about colors, like this is what I got in the background. This is it right here. Like, I don't even know who some of these characters are yet, because they haven't introduced them, unless you've watched the manhwa, which I also learned that for China and Korea, it looks the same, but Korean manga is manhwa with like an H, and then like Chinese manga is manhwa. And like, so it's very similar, but they're just like pronounced just a little bit different. So apparently it's also really good. I'm loving it. And actually Steven likes it. And this is, I don't know if he's ever watched any other Chinese anime, but he's like, yeah, I'm actually really liking this. So.
Yep. I'm on board with it too. Biggest thing for me visually. I know we always we always go back to referring to this anime when we talk about 3D CGI stuff. We always talk about Berserk 2016, right? And we're just like, Jesus Christ, this is the worst of the worst, right? Then you move forward, you got anime like Beastars that do it better, right? And then so on and so on. They figure out how to merge the little 3D with the 2D kind of realm. I think To Be Hero X is the best we've seen when it comes to that. The transition where every time an action scene would start up, they go seamlessly into the 2D animation, so you can have those vivid effects. The comic,
dude, it's so cool.
Comic book style, lighting and the sound and on all of that stuff. It is amazing. And I know you haven't seen it, but the episode where I think it's episode 4, where the dude playing nice fights God Eye.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, EJ, the whole premise of the heroes being created based on people's faith in them to be heroes, right?
Yeah, the empowerment.
They start out as a regular dude, then people are just like, they start rooting for you and believing in you, and then that's where your power comes from. I feel personally, I was watching it and I'm like, I like this premise about heroes more than the whole you're born with stuff from My Hero. Not to say My Heroes, but I love My Hero, but hey, you're either born with powers or you're not. And this one is just you do something heroic, because you've seen the last episode, right, Jackie? And not anything, but the one where
is it the one that just came out on Sunday?
With
the kid, yes, and the statue.
Yep. So not that one. That with the dude that holds up stuff. What do they call him? Like
standing. No. He's talking legs. I don't know. It's actually something very like literal. It's very literal.
Firm man.
Firm man.
Firm man, which is wild, but
yeah, I thought that was funny.
But it's the one.
I don't know if we watched the most recent episode.
All right, yeah, but this dude goes up, like, it's always people that are like going above and beyond, knowing they don't have that power, but going out doing the right thing, even though they know they are about to get messed up. They're outnumbered. The bad guys got weapons. They're getting beat up, and they're like, this is the right thing to do. And then somebody sees them and they start rooting for them. Like, you got this, get up, fight back. And they put faith into him, and it gives them that strength.
Yes, I have seen it recently. Sorry, the young kid who, yeah. Got it now. I remember now. I had to look it up really quick.
Oh, I love this stuff. Like, I love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then, like, as I was doing research, apparently this is the third part of like an anthology.
Yeah. So apparently the first and second one apparently are like okay, but they're like completely separate from this one.
Right. So there's To Be Hero, and then there's To Be Heroine, right? Not the drug.
That are predecessors to this.
Female heroes.
Yeah.
To Be Heroine.
But people who have seen it, they said that it's okay, like it's fine, but this is like the best that they've done with it so far. And the fact that because I was nervous when I read this was a third iteration, I'm like, shit, do I have to go back? But then I guess it's kind of like how Fate series doesn't ever like fall in with each other. You can watch one and it's okay.
They're just taking in their own.
It's not immediate continuous.
You don't have to like watch the first and second one.
But I will say I'm interested. I'll give them a watch.
Yeah, if they kick out. Yeah, if they kick out like prequel stuff, I'd watch it.
But no, 100%. I'm a fan of it, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. But talking about Chinese animation or Chinese anime, for lack of a better term. Donghua.
Dong. Yeah. D-O-N-G, and the O has like a line over it, so it's Dong, and then Hua.
Some of these
I'm trying to give the people what they deserve. I'm trying to say it right.
I'm out here butchering stuff all the time, so that's all good.
I will say the one that I've watched probably, and I'm a big fan of it. It's on Netflix. Scissor 7 is one, and it is pretty good. It's done more in a cartoony way.
Okay.
But the animation when it gets to the fights, like it's so weird because it'll be so almost giving the vibes of like Adventure Time, like with if they're not fighting, the camaraderie between the main character and his little best friend sidekick, it's just a joking thing. But then when the plot starts picking up, because like some of the fights are between silly characters and stuff. He's an assassin trying to climb the ranks of assassins, but he's like the lowest level, and all he has is like a pair of scissors to start. and then it just gets more and more of his backstory gets revealed, and he finds out he's like a better assassin than he thinks he is. Like the spirit of, not to ruin it, but he becomes a pretty competent fighter, right? And he's fighting some pretty badass people throughout it. So you're watching it and you're just like, this is a funny, regular show, Adventure Time, gumball type thing. Then when shit starts hitting the fan, you're like, oh shit, animation is on point. Like they really don't fuck around with these fights. And then another one that I want to bring up, and I think it has some of the best animated fights ever. And all I could do was just catch clips of it on YouTube. It's called The Fog Hill of Five Elements. I want to bring.
I heard about that.
Bring it up.
No, they're gonna yell at us.
It's
so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent right now because there was a One Piece episode that came out in April, and by the way, it's like, oh, it's so good. And I love watching reaction videos to crazy ass episodes. I don't know why, but I just think it's so funny and fun to watch other people's reactions to see if everyone also had the same reaction as me. And it's two people sometimes, or a group of people, and they'll have like a little circle at the bottom of their video of them watching the show and commenting on it, making statements, but the whole show is going. I'm like, how are they doing this and not getting in trouble? I don't understand.
Like we can't even play the trailer.
With no sound. Or even 10 seconds. Like, I want to know they're paying. They have to be either paying or something. Like, because like, come on, man. Like, what are you guys? And I wanted to reach out to this one couple and be like, how are you doing this?
What's the sauce?
Yeah, please.
The sauce.
Like, I'm not trying to steal your shit. Sometimes we want to play some openings. Like, that's it. Like, it's not even a show. It's just a fucking opening.
That's all we want to do. But this is and I'm not even gonna play the full 2 minutes. Just enough. You guys can see what's going on.
This is cool looking.
Yeah, I watched this. I didn't know what it was called. I watched it on. It must have been TikTok.
Oh, this gives me Samurai Jack vibes.
It's dope. I mean, the style for the movement is. I don't know.
Oh, boom, 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 boom. Did you see that?
That's enough. That's alone. Leave us alone.
But the thing is, it's so funny between what Jackie just said and the fact that I've watched almost that entire episode on TikTok or something. It's like,
that's insane. Like, how are people getting away with this?
I didn't know it was called. I was so
frustrated. What are we doing wrong?
Describing it, and I'm like, that sounds just like what I just watched. You put it up. I was like, sure enough. And then I watched the whole thing in a way that we would get busted.
Listen, anyone out there that's listening to this, if you have the answer, you have the answer. I have the answer. Okay. By the way, there's this guy named, his name was Chaplain Ansa. He was be like, hello, I am Chaplain Ansa.
Oh, you can
have the answer.
You can watch the whole show on this free streaming thing called Plex. I guess that's like
Plex. Okay.
Yeah. So you can watch all 7 episodes for the free.
Then I'll check it out.
Wow.
But yeah, there's different fights. Like if you YouTube Fog Hill of 5 Element fights, every fight that I've seen, and like I'm just like, this is hand drawn. Like get out.
That's crazy. I wonder how long that took them then to do that.
Some of it just, I mean, you wouldn't believe that it's hand drawn. You're just like the motion. I mean, just the motion in that.
Oh
fight.
Yeah.
The energy, the exchange of blows or. Like so close and countering, it was just you're like, wow, dude.
So I've done some research and a lot of Reddit research just because I want to see what the public opinion and everything is. But I want to ask you guys, like Chinese donghua has been out for a really long time. Like it's not new. It's the same thing like when Japan came out with anime back in the 50s. Like China also had their own thing. Why do you guys think that like I don't know the past year, 2 years now? Like
good pick.
It seems like now Chinese donghua's getting like the popularity that maybe it deserves or just that it's getting. And why do you think everyone's now like, hey, if you haven't hopped on this now, like you should do this? And now even Japan is like, hey, we'll help y'all out now too.
Well, I would say not even because like South Korea is getting involved. Like all of the countries there, they're just coming together and just producing a level of animation that maybe because we're over here in the West, a lot of our animation's been watered down to pretty simple, the easiest design, silliest stuff. Look at Teen Titans Go, regular show, Gumball, things like that, where you're just like, it's funny. It's like, shut your brain off, watch it. It's funny. It's easy. It's low cost, high profit, no effort put in. You look at most adult cartoons like a Family Guy, Simpsons, like not a lot of effort put into character design and stuff like that. So when you see something that's different, you're just, oh shit, this must be like 100% when Castlevania comes over on Netflix, right? Automatic. Oh, this must be anime. It's not, but it, you know what I'm saying? It's not, but it is. Like it's a Western studio that does it, but you're outsourcing the anime. Like I would even say Boondocks, right? When Boondocks was around, that animation was outsourced to a Korean animation company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When they would do the fights, and it's like very like kung fu when Huey would fight somebody, you're just like, damn, this is pretty dope.
Well, I guess that does make sense.
We're not drawing that here in America. Like, not saying that there's people in America that can't.
We have MMA. That's what we have.
Yeah. We have not valued that avenue except for in children's entertainment. So,
but the time and the effort and the quality and the level of care and the animation that they put in over there, when it comes over here, we appreciate it that much more. And Kenpachi is on point. And I was going to bring this up is I think the anime boom that we had post-COVID or during COVID now is opening the door to a lot more animation studios over in the East to now display their stuff over here. And now Netflix and Hulu and all these other streaming services that predominantly put out Western animation and Western programming are now looking at them and be like, hey, what do you got? This may be the next big thing. We'll pay you this much to have it stream on our platform. So now it's easier for us to access it because like we talked about life before Crunchyroll, like you're ordering DVDs or you're going to Pirate Bay to pirate these things and whatever. No, you could just
or just YouTube, like honestly, like, or I just Googled it and I could find like literally 1,000 different sites that had it. Like Kiss Anime was one of them, and there's like Go Anime. Like there's so many like websites that you could just watch that shit for free at like 720p, and that was like a godsend if you could find it at 720p.
So I think the anime boom post COVID, because Crunchyroll was out before then, but I don't think they had as many subscribers as
Crunchyroll's been out since like I think at least 2012.
Crunchyroll meeting, probably.
I want to know when was Crunchyroll.
Yeah. And I make that assumption based on the fact Crunchyroll was just like, you pay us $7 a month, you get all of this. Now they're just like, you got to be a premium member to get it. I'm just like, Crunchyroll, no.
Yeah, you gotta be that top fan. You gotta be that top fan.
You got to get the shade. You don't have the shades.
Yeah, you gotta get that bag that I got. I got a cool bag with some stickers and shit.
Yeah, but I think Kenpachi hit it on the head. But I don't know. It's crazy they have their own distinct style, I guess.
Yeah. So what I wanted to bring up is when I was watching. So one of the ones that I watched a while ago, it's called Psychic Princess. Heaven's Official Blessing is another one that's on Netflix, and also I think Crunchyroll. And then Link Click, which is actually a webtoon, I guess is also a Chinese donghua, which I did not realize. Psychic Princess, though, is about like a female who's like in the back of this palace that like has these psychic powers that's supposed to help the like prince that's in this castle, but then she also is like a ninja basically. Like she has like all these different like strengths and whatever, and she's I don't know, it was really cool and it was a good like and I actually watched that one in Chinese sub and I liked it a lot, but it only has one season and I'm wondering when the next one's going to come out. But I liked that one, and that was not my first one, but I can't remember what my first one was a long time ago, but that one I thought was interesting. But one thing I noticed when I watched others, though, and I watched one episode, a lot of it and a lot of the themes was like there was some type of like hierarchy or power, the way the interactions went with people and sometimes how they spoke to each other was very much like, I'm higher than you, so you should respect me, and if you don't, like, that's crazy, and like something would happen. And sometimes the way they would treat females was a little weird, and it wasn't like the same as like what you would see in Japanese anime. A lot of it's very over dramatized. Like I compare that to Korean dramas. Like when you see some Korean specific anime, not Solo Leveling, and that's not even anime, but like with the manga, like I'm talking about like just like the romance is just so over dramatized. Relationships are just like a lot of it's men in power too that I noticed with like some of them. So I that's why I think for some people it wasn't as attractive to watch that. Other things which I didn't know is that some of the donghwas are, because of the Chinese government itself, they will have a lot of involvement with the production of, and they'll put like different things in it. So a lot of people say that there might be some propaganda involved with the CCP. Some of it is very political based, like without you realizing it. Like it might be a romance, but then there's like underlying political things on purpose. I guess there was an anime that came, or a donghua that came out called, hold on, I'm looking it up right now. I wrote it down. Sorry. Oh, it's called The Leader. It came out in 2019. It was actually commissioned by the CCP, and it focuses on the life of Karl Marx and aims to promote his ideology among young people. And that was seen as a form of propaganda by a lot of Western media sources. But I guess despite its bent, though, it opened up a surprising space for discussion on Marxism and even labor rights in China. So maybe good for China, but everyone else is just like, yeah, not my cup of tea. We're not really about that. That's
I'm just
good.
imagining like Karl Marx in like some sort of Dragon Ball Z situation, like
Yeah. I haven't watched it. Apparently, it's a little bit of a romance. I was like looking into it a little bit, and a part of me was like, I should stop, researching this. I feel like the government's gonna come after me.
I mean, you are an aggressor now, so
exactly right.
This is for my job.
I'm just trying to learn.
Leave me alone.
I was just gonna say, I think that that's I believe it's a societal thing, and our ability, the time period for which we are now much more globalized trade wise is when China started to come up on our radar. I don't think it's because the lack of their talent or time, because they've been around just as long or close to just as long, and they obviously have the talent when we see it. I think though, one is culture. Until the two cultures really started sharing in the 2000s, and they've been behind for a long time. So now that tech wise they're getting up there, now they also with the broader market. I know this is going into cool anime stuff. With the broader market, now that we're trading more stuff, we were able to trade entertainment, like Lionsgate. Okay, Lionsgate film production is Chinese. Okay, or part of it. So with those,
I did not know that. That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah, with those deals, and I think it was whatever. We got some of the probably exchanges as far as their donghua being able to be shared here, and then also the influence from us coming to them. That's why you were saying the interactions seem weird. Their societal interactions are probably very different due to their laws and their culture culture's been so isolated. So
that's what I've been reading too with Reddit is like, and actually the Reddit forum I was reading there was a lot of people from Japan commenting about how they felt about the Chinese animation that's been coming, and a lot of them are very biased. They're like this one thing that I read is she's like, I'm Japanese, and like my thing is like, why am I gonna watch Chinese like animation when I can just watch it in Japanese? Like there's no point in me like watching that. but like you guys talked about, it's different in like Western audiences. Like for us, like it's all different, it's all new, like so we're all gonna watch it no matter what because we can watch it in different subtitles. But at least from this one person that talked about, she's like, but I'm Japanese, like I don't need to watch that because I'm just gonna watch what I think it's in Japanese. So like I'm just gonna watch this. There's no point in me like even like watching that. And I thought that was an interesting take. I didn't think about that in that way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one person, which I did not know how I felt about this comment, but it was from an American. And he was like, it's so refreshing to see protagonists that are always respectful towards their peers and considerate of how their actions affect other people around them. And I was like, what are we talking about here? Because it sounds a little you sound a little weird right now. There's like way more into that, but he's like here over in America, like people are arrogant, disrespectful asshats that are constantly yelling at and insulting their peers. I'm like, oh, you don't like when people question some things that people do? Is that what you don't like? And you like where in China, like you can't question, you just respect no matter what? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it sounds like. So I don't know, like that's just like one dude, by the way, like, or girl, I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but just like some things. And then someone else said, which I thought was interesting, is they said it's just an attempt at their own version of anime, like their work, like Chinese painting moving pictures in the 80s and slowly mimicking towards the successful formula of anime. They were talking, because I looked up like what do they feel about the competition, like do they think it's a competition, do they think that like Chinese Donghua now is gonna like that too, like just that, and that's not like going away, like that's racial tension is still very much there and it's still very prominent between specifically Japan, Korea, and China. Yeah. And just being in Korea, like I still even saw it in Korea when I was there, just 2017.
Well, they have the I forget the official name, but people are just calling it, oh, that's the I Hate Japan Museum. You know, when they went through and occupied Korea, and
yeah,
you know, it's like their Korea War thing, and you go in there, you're just like, well, damn, like they do hate Japan, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but if you know history, sorry again, it's not getting away from anime, but if you know history, you can understand. A little bit, you can be like, yeah,
valid.
We get it, you know? We get it. But I think now this new generation that's coming up though, where they like kind of never experienced that though, like they're just like, oh, like different people, but you know, whatever, and different animation styles. I think eventually that maybe that systemic like racism will kind of diminish a little bit, and I think it'll always be there a little, but I think it's not going to be as strong as it might still be right now, especially with just the fact that the countries are working together on so many different projects already, and coming out and producing this out to like the world.
To quote Wu-Tang, cash rules everything around me. So they're helping because they're going to make lots of money off of it. That's why they're helping.
That too, but yeah, I don't know. But I also see like China's like even like To Be Hero X. I don't see any, at least yet. I don't know. I don't see any propaganda. I don't see like any underlying political things. Yet. I mean, I haven't really focused much except like the animation, all this other stuff, super cool. I know that Kenpachi gave us like a buttload of different animes to watch, like Hitori no Shita, The Outcast, The King's Avatar, Biao Ren, Blades of the Guardian, Super Cube. Those are some of the few that Kenpachi like told us about that were really great, and that he was surprised, like Sugar Cube specifically, he said he was really shocked was really good. So like I think it's still worthwhile if China's able to continue to create shows that doesn't have CCP involvement and doesn't have a higher agenda to it. I think that they will continue to produce really great shows that will bring in not even just Western audiences, but even like European and more audiences to continue to watch their things, as long as it's a really great story.
Yeah. I'm sitting here looking, and South Korea officially lifted restrictions on Japanese animation to be played in their country in 2006.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's
like it's still recent. Like that was
years
not
ago,
even 10 years.
They're like, here's some anime. People are, I mean, because they were creating their own anime over there, right? You know, which good for them. They were trying. They would see what Japanese were doing, and then they would like make I don't want to say the great value version of it, but they would try to do their version of it, like their Dragon Ball. I don't know. Their version of Dragon Ball is so hilarious.
I haven't seen it. Now I want to watch it.
It's so hilarious. You're just like, I see why they were just like, we could let a couple shows through. Like, hey man, it's just not catching fire like it is over there in the States. Like they were probably watching us in America, like Super Saiyan 2, Frieza, Piccolo. They're like, hey, we got to get in on this guy. Like, let's go ahead and put this. Because they were pirating that stuff in. It was like illegal. They were willing to pirate this stuff in, kind of like how China's just like, or North Korea's like, don't bring this shit over here. Koreans were just like, bro, I need to get in on this Dragon Ball shit, So to officially lift the ban in 2006, but as of 2018, obviously 7 years ago, there are still several laws restricting certain broadcasting of Japanese media in South Korea. So it's not all buddy good times, but they are slowly, getting to that space.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it did.
Right. Yeah. So what Kenpachi's saying, 100% correct. I don't know about the different names because the names are still Korean in the anime.
I will say
they at least kept that.
You can tell like it's a Korean story because when they send the Japanese S rank hunters over there, like the Korean one is like the best. They're just like, oh man, the Japanese ones got washed. Obviously because it's a Korean driven thing, but go figure.
That was a fun year, living over there. Because I got in cool with like I don't know when you went, if people were still going down to the score bar down in Songtong. So, but I got cool with those bartenders, and they would let me just hang out behind the bar, whatever. Sona and Jay, but yeah, they'd be like, "So you're Japanese?" I was like, "Yeah."
The record.
You're talking about being in a hostile land because there's all these like memorials.
Yeah,
and they're anytime that it comes up every year, they demand an apology from Japan. So it's like, even today,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Year, yeah, I mean, at least Japan apologizes. I'd try at some point. I'd be like, "Yo, man, I apologize, for 50-some odd years. Leave me alone."
That's like Japan. Oh God, never mind. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. It's getting a little political.
I think a lot of it, and it'll get better, but you're always going to have that standoffish between the originators of the practice or the ones who made it become popular. Look at a good example for me is football. Okay, United States made football, and everyone.
And look how popular it is now. It's like now they're doing games in London and Germany, and like everyone, people are like getting so like everywhere around the world. They're getting so into American football now.
Yeah. Anyone else who gets into any of our sports, though, they're just for prime examples like basketball. Okay, doesn't matter that certain years in the Olympics we've had foreign teams that give us a run for the money, if not beat us out. Okay, it's been rare, but it's gotten more. But I'm just saying, we will never, just like Japan looks at Chinese animation, is the same way that like we would look at Czechoslovakia's basketball team. Compared, it doesn't matter how good they are, they could whoop our butt, but we're still going to be like, you're not up to our level.
Yeah.
No one will ever be because we made it first, so that's the way I feel like Japan's looking at that. And it's sad in a way because it could affect future endeavors like this 2B Hero 6. X, we could lose out on the next great thing like that if people's attitudes and opinions continue like that. But there's a market for it with us now, in the West. Even if it has to bypass Japan, it's going to come because it's money.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh man, Good times. But yeah, that's a good discussion. That's a good topic, Jackie, looking into that. I will say, based on, you brought that up in the chat, and I was looking at all the different Chinese, animation and stuff. I was like, let me go ahead and dabble and check these out,
Yeah.
Supercube, obviously I want to check that out, because Kenpachi rarely steers me wrong, but
if Kenpachi was on it, he was like, y'all gotta watch this shit. He gave a list. I was like, oh, okay. Add.
That's the stuff I want to do when I finally retire. I just want to take a year, don't do any work. Just tell my wife, tag, you're in. Like it's on you to work now. I'll bring in my little retirement thing and whatever disability I get.
Yeah.
And you go, because I got stuff to catch up on.
Yeah, there's just so much. Now you're bringing other countries into it. It's like, damn, dude, I'm never gonna be able to watch anything.
And at the end of the day, when I die, the sad part is, like, I will never be caught up on One Piece.
No.
Shut up. That's not true.
I mean, you are. I won't.
It is gonna end at least in the next 5 years. I think.
So it'll be at what, 2,000 episodes?
See, that's one that I think we should talk about and have like our viewers weigh in. Is like, I've heard it. It's been brought up before, and I know there's discussions on it all the time on different threads. But is One Piece making itself
So Jackie's ready to bounce. Is One Piece what? Is One Piece what? Look at Jackie.
Should they end it?
Are they going forever? You want to know something? I heard this from, I don't know how true this is. It was someone's See, I told you. Thank you, Kimpot. See, I don't speak shit out of my ass. Okay? Literally and figuratively. I do my research. Oda's like, hey, thank you for sticking around for the past 20 years. You got 5 more years left. So I feel bad for the people that started this shit when they were 50 and now they're 70 and they're like, God.
He's been writing this story longer than like generals and shit have been serving in the military.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Full military service.
If anything, we should talk about like Detective Conan. Like, let's talk about that. Like, that shit is, why is it One Piece makes sense why this shit's going on for as long as it is. What the fuck is Detective Conan got going on? Like, how many fucking
even then you could throw in others. Like,
case closed forever.
Has DBZ done too much?
The case is never closed. You're lying to me.
When one closes, the next one opens.
Does that mean
doors? It's fine. And I mean, as long as the story's good and the audience is still there for it, keep it going.
It's because the story is so freaking good. This dude's a genius at everything he's doing. And now because like the animation has like skyrocketed, just obviously it's been 20 years, so animation is going to get way better. And it's just, if you were there since day one, which I wasn't, so like I don't like, but I watched it from like episode 1 before they reanimated it. So I had to go through that grueling process before the animation got better. So I've seen how it has progressed to now what it is. And they finally like got off hiatus and they have come back with new episodes now. And I have not watched the manga. So there's other people that know other stuff like way ahead of me. And I was looking up like some stuff on Reddit earlier and it was just about the most recent episode. Not the most recent, but one of the episodes that was like really crazy. And I accidentally like saw a Reddit post. I'm like, this is why I can't look shit up about One Piece because people start talking and it's about the manga. So I had to exit out of it immediately because thankfully though, people, since One Piece isn't like, I don't like solo leveling. Like solo leveling fans are assholes, man. Like they are so ready to post shit and say stuff. But One Piece, everyone's like, it's been out for a while. So like, we know better. Kind of like, not to like look up except when one specific thing happened in One Piece and everyone was raving about it. I was like, this is cool. I haven't even fucking seen this. This is pissing me off. But I just like I love it. It's so good. I didn't think a story could go this long and still be as engaging as it was the first 100 episodes. You would think that you would get tired of it eventually and be like, what the hell? But it just keeps you like going without it losing its like
I'm just kind of
not flavor. I can't talk. I don't know English. Not flavor, but like it's whatever grabs your attention. Like it just keeps it there. Like you are so engaged. It's, I don't know. I can go on One Piece for like the longest. That's not why we're here, though. We're here for Chinese anime. Like, what are we talking about?
Like long running anime episode, series like Gintama, like that's run for as long as it has, and nobody really talks about it.
Yeah, true.
It's like a connoisseur's anime. They're just like, well, if you want to talk about long running great stories, Gintama, and I'm just like, I tried Gintama, and 20 episodes in, I'm just like, it's probably not for me.
Yeah.
Wait till you get the episode. I'm just like, I don't want to get to that episode. So, but we could talk about that on a future episode. But we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. We're at 1 hour 44 minutes. Not bad. Seeing how our last one was 3 hours, So
oh yeah.
We'll go ahead and return to our regularly scheduled programming and see if anybody has any parting shots for us. Hey. All right. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Very educational / fun show that we just had. A lot of anime we were putting people on or talking about breezing over. If you've seen any of the anime we were talking about, or is there any anime that premiered in April that you've seen and you're just like, you guys didn't mention this one, or you're missing out on this, or you may not have been tracking this, let us know. Throw it in the comments. We'll check it out. Like we said, all three of us has a watch list that is continually growing. And one of these days we will check them off. But EJ, any parting shots for the folks before we call it a night?
No. Actually, I think we covered everything.
What about you, Jackie? Got anything?
I think my parting shot is watch One Piece. No, I'm just, but also not kidding. No, I think Chinese donghua is worth it. I think that we should get into the things that we talked about, especially that Kenpachi recommended, and I look forward to like when we do watch that, like talking about that in the future, and hopefully some of y'all like have watched some of that and can also comment on it, and we can see like what we think about some of these new shows that have actually existed, because some of them Kenpachi said were made like 8 to 10 years ago. Have some good discussions on those.
I don't either. I don't have anything, but I do know we have some amazing topics to get into for our next show, which will be 2 weeks from now. We'll let you know if anything changes. But what's 2 weeks from now? For 22nd?
May? No, not 22nd. Wait, what is May? Yeah, May 22nd.
Look at you. Lying to us.
I can't look at my calendar. Yeah. It's not letting me.
22nd of May. And we'll let you know if we got a flex left or right, because life happens. But again, great show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, awesome discussion. Awesome recommendations. So if you got something for us, let us know. We'll check it out. Until the next time, y'all be easy.
Bye.
Go watch some, what is it?
Sayonara.
Some great donghua. You guys take care. Peace.